This is Avara on Scrappy Media, and today I want to show you some embellishments that I created using fabric. So this is fabric that I bought at Joann's, and it's just canvas or any type of kind of cotton fabric that you want to get a cream color or white color. The first technique I'm going to show you is create these cute little cameras with StazOn ink. And that way when you color mist it, you can color mist it or do whatever you want. It's going to look nice on your embellishment. So let me go ahead and get some StazOn ink and I'll show you how to do that. For this technique, you really need to have a real juicy pad. So I always have a refiller, ink refill. And I make sure I juice up my pad real good. Okay. Then you're going to go ahead and get your stamp. So I got this stamp at Hobby Lobby, and I got it for 40% off. So it was $3.99 and I got it, I think it was like $2.69. So you're going to go ahead and see how nice and dark it is, and then you're going to make it an impression. And look how beautiful that looks. So let me go ahead and make another one. And you really have to saturate your ink pad so that way you get a nice impression. Okay, and then the next one I want to show you is I've got this typewriter, and I'm going to do the same technique. Just want to make sure you get a nice, see how nice and juicy it is. And look how nice and juicy it is. Another technique that you can use, I'll show you in a minute, it's with using, so let me go ahead and get some embossing ink and I'll show you how you can do the same thing, but this time we'll have a raised edge. Okay, so before I start, make sure you clean up your ink. I'm going to use embossing ink, but I'm going to use a color embossing ink, and then I'm going to use some Stampin' Up! Black embossing powder. So before you do that, you just make sure, because you use StazOn, so use this StazOn all-purpose cleaner. And get a tissue paper and just make sure you clean it real good. And I'm going to do the same thing with my camera. You just make sure you clean it real good. So get your re-inker and make sure you put a lot of ink on that, because we're stamping on fabric, so we want to make sure that we saturate, because the fabric is just going to absorb some. So we want to make sure that we have enough wetness on our fabric that it will retain the embossing powder. And then I'm going to go ahead and get some wax paper. I always like to buy these wax little paper. You get these at Costco, and they're great for picking up your embossing powders. So I'm going to go ahead and ink it very well. Make sure it's nice and wet, as you can see there. And I'm going to do 2. And then I'm going to go ahead and dump some embossing powder on my image. And then shake it from the back. And then you can take, before you emboss it, take a real kind of thin brush and kind of work it a little bit. And it really doesn't matter that much, because remember, we're going to go ahead and cut it out anyhow. So let me put my embossing powder away. And let me go ahead and heat set this real quick. So I'm heating it from the back first, so that way I don't blow off the powders, and then I will reheat it from the front. There's one, so let me go ahead and do the typewriter. Make sure I ink it real good. And go ahead and ink this up very well. Stamp, and then I'm going to immediately put some embossing powders can see, and then go ahead and flick the excess from the back. As you can see, I just flick it off. And then heat it from underneath first. Once it melted, then you're going to go ahead from the top. Let me use my heat resisting pad. I'm going to take from the top and finish melting it. Okay. So now you just simply cut it out. So take a pair of sharp scissors. And even though you see all that embossing powders, it'll look fine because once you cut out close to the image, and it gives it that antique feel, it'll look nice on your project. So you cut it out. And there you have a nice little typewriter. And then you do the same thing with these. Basically just cut it out. So there you have it. Thank you for watching. I hope I inspired you.